Good morning, pregame crew. It is, what day is it? It is Thursday. Wow. Thursday, December 2nd, 8:24 a.m. Eastern, 6:24 a.m. Mountain. Audio visual check, please. Good morning, Emad, Blue Dog, Jorge, David, Nino, Luchos, Mal, Alnick, Sincere Almond, Night Truck, Scott. Good morning, good morning. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, please. Make sure everything is working. No drop frames. Volume looks good. Thanks, Chuck. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Thank you. We had a dead cat bounce overnight, but at this point, it truly looks like a dead cat. It does not look like bulls are stepping in and buying this. And Apple had bearish news this morning. Europe Tech Index closed, or they're set to close with the biggest drop this year, down at 4.2%. They're down 4.2%. So Europe had a bad night overnight in the trading markets. That does not bode well for our day. And I know I can sometimes be a little silly. I love to laugh. But I want you to know I always recognize that there are lots of you or some of you out there hurting as far as trading. It's been a very tough environment. And I just want you to know I've been there, done that, got a couple t-shirts. So just slow down your trading. This trading environment is not for everybody. I would say more traders get hurt in this environment than the traders that can take advantage of this environment. So recognize which side of the fence you're on. Hey, Flash, Adam, Steven, Jerome, Dalton, Jorge. I'm great, Jorge. Hi, Marasia, Mark, Lisa. How are you, Dove? Good morning. So you have arrived at the pregame show. This is a stock market pregame show. If you're looking for a football pregame show, wrong show, but I can talk a little sports. But what I do is go over the indices, crypto, commodities, movers, and shakers of the day. I have names for you. I have names for you to possibly go long, or a name, a couple names. The rest of them are bearish setups today. But from my experience, if I am looking bearish the market, it's much easier to short the indices than go out there stock picking. So I have 4 names here today that I'm watching, but I'm really watching these indices right here. These 3 is what I'll be looking to go short. If I'm going to short something, it'll be these 3. I may short JPM, we'll see, but overall, it's much easier to short indices, in my opinion, than go out there stock picking. Tom, that's funny. Hey, Veronica, Lambert, Danny. You want to be a part of this island? Well, come be a part of it. So this is what we do. I officially get started in 3 minutes, but this is chartguys.com. We have a trading community that has 1,067 of my closest friends, and we have various subject matters, commodities, crypto, marijuana, uranium, whatever you're interested in. And when I say they're my closest friends, this was our meetup in Mexico. We didn't get a picture of everyone, but there I am. I'm right there. There's my husband. There is Charting Man Dan, Dana, our moderator Julian. There is Lamont and his wife. Chart Guys Jason and his wife. There's our moderator Judd and his wife. And we have Crypto Toby back here. Lots and lots of friends in this picture. And they're my friends. And I get to trade with them. So we have a pretty cool community. This is me if you're interested in following me on Twitter. It is what we do. I know, MG. Next time. How to set up your charts for market internals. Okay, so let me just give you a small peek at my internals. Make sure my privacy is on. But this is what I look at for tick. So you can see it's really, really simple. I have the 0 line marked in red, and I keep it on the 5-minute. And the blue line is the 8 EMA. So I'm watching for the 8 EMA to stay over the 0 line to stay long, below the 0 line to go short. And then I used $ ADD. And I used TICUS, which is the combination of all the different markets, NYSE, the Nasdaq, and I use AD and DD, which is only for Nasdaq. So I'm looking for this to take a beating today. So we'll see. But it looks like they're really going to pick on technology today with Apple bearish news. Yeah, you are in that picture. Oh, Lamont's here. Hey. You like this channel too? All right, it's 8:30. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. Even though we love the family side of our business, we teach technical analysis and we help a lot of traders become full-time traders. So we have a swing report service, we have Trader Pro alert service, we have courses, and we just have a pretty cool little fam. So this is the pregame show. I cover indices, crypto, commodities, movers and shakers of the day, and I just try to get you ready for the day. And every day I like to give you educational tidbits as I come about them, and it's in a haphazard way. Someone asked me for the Market Internals pregame show that I did. I can't even go back to what date that was, but we do have people that catalog all that. That's cool too. So here's my notes for today. If you're interested in my chart setup, it's on this chart, and I'll get back to it in a second. I'm going to start with the education today. So trend changes are the name of the game today for buy the dip. Until then, we are in short the rip mode. So in my opinion, we need to stay with our bearish hat on. Bears proved it. Not only did they prove it with volume, it was insane volume, but there was some real fear that crept in the market yesterday. Crept, is that a word? With volatility. And you could see it through tick. Tick cumulative had some extremes yesterday. I think it was more than 1,500 at one point. So some extreme negative tick. That is some major capitulation. And the way volatility looked with tick and AD and DD and ADD and all of the other acronyms was it looked like margin calls. So you'll see volatility spike really hard, and then you'll see these tick get extreme, and it's forced selling where the broker says you're done, you're overextended, you're losing money, we're going to liquidate you. And it has forced liquidations. People are forced to sell their positions. The broker does it for them, and it causes these really extreme tick readings. Let me show you. We had negative 1528 yesterday. Look at these negative readings. So I tell y'all, when we have sustained ticks above 600, which we did at the beginning of the day, stay bullish. And the 8 EMA is above the 0 line. Then things crossed. This is 8 EMA crossed the 0 line. Then look at these sustained ticks. If you would have stayed bearish yesterday, which I did on a very small position, but not the full position I had back here, because I was waiting to buy the dip. Well, that didn't happen. The sustained ticks just kept going. Negative 1,500. That means they're selling 1,500 issues or stocks more than they're buying. They're selling more on the down tick than they're buying on the uptick. That is some major selling. We had this one little, I'd call that a dead cat bounce, and we came right back into the selling. So it just cooled off temporary RSIs and then came back down. So watch for that. When you have these sustained ticks, like even here, we got overbought, and then they just take their foot off the gas for a second. It floats down, so don't let those one errant ticks to the upside or downside get you confused. Okay, let's go back to the notes. So weekly EMAs are overhead. Daily EMAs are overhead on our indices, most of them. 4-hour EMAs overhead. Hourly EMAs overhead. 15-minute EMAs overhead. What does that mean? As long as these conditions remain, shorting the bounces makes sense. On bounces, if you're going to go long, I would wait for a 5-minute high or low instead of jumping in. If you didn't watch Dan's video yesterday, he was talking about, I think it was here, I'm not really sure, but how the SPY bulls were unable, I need to look at it on SPY, how they were unable to change the trend. So even though they got this little bounce going here on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, they were unable to make the trend change. And once you see that, you just got to stay bearish. So a bounce It's hard to get bullish on a bounce without 5-minute trend changes, because at that point it's just a dead cat bounce. And here's the other problem. For me, who I primarily trade options during the day, is if I'm looking, for example, to buy an Amazon dip, which yesterday there was a nice oversold bounce opportunity on Amazon. Let me show you. It was right here. We bounced $20 and the options barely moved on the calls. Barely moved, because here we had the volatility spike. So if this were the VIX index, it was at a high here. And as soon as the dead cat bounce got going in the market, VIX drops precipitously, and then these premiums get killed. So even buying calls, and when you're trying to buy the dip, and if we had a prior huge VIX spike, you're still getting hurt. So buying the dip doesn't even make sense right now if you're trading options. I hope that made sense. And the better way to trade it is, if you're looking to buy a dip, is wait for a 5-minute high or low, change that trend, then you put your stop under there. You'll get better premiums if you just wait for that initial dead cat bounce to be over with. Volatility index spiking makes dip difficult when market bounces. VIX comes in hard, reducing option premium. Using spreads or verticals makes more sense when you're trying to buy the dip. So at least you're selling some of that extrinsic value in the options and just trying to sell a little bit of premium. Hit the like button, please. Hit the subscribe button. Now let's get started with the indices. My chart setup's on the screen. I'm going to delete it now. I talk about it most days, so if you're interested, you've probably heard me talk about it a few hundred times. And this is the Squeeze Pro indicator by Makito. All right, so we have a 4-hour downtrend, and this spike just looks like just a normal everyday bear flag. We have not broken the low. On Nasdaq, we broke the low. But I'm going to start with, I always start with ES. I guess I did start with ES, but Nasdaq is the story for me today. So if we take the October low, swing low, to the November swing high, and we do fibs 0.382, which, why is that significant? That means that we're holding, we've only given back 38% of this move. We've only given back 38%. At this point, if Nasdaq bulls could step in right here, right now, and we need a candle close above this 15850, I'll call it 850. We need a candle close above to hold the hopes and dreams of a bull flag for NQ. And that sounds absurd to me. Even when I say it, by the way, I sound absurd, because I understand the magnitude of the bears stepping in yesterday. That, because we've been rewarded. Buy the dip, get rewarded. Buy the dip, get rewarded. Yesterday, you bought the dip, you got slammed. So things just changed. A lot of things changed for me yesterday and what I was seeing. This is literally the last line of hope for market bulls to save where we are and get some structure rebuilt, is holding this 0.382 retracement on Nasdaq. One other difference I see that stands out. The prior all-time high from September, before we had this pullback and everybody panicked, lots of people panicked, was 15708. From that same time period, 4549. So ES has broken through that September high. Nasdaq is 100 points away. Now, 15708, I'm going to go set an alert for that. Tell me when we get back to that September prior high. This is looking left. Lamont teaches during his live sessions to look left. Prior resistances can serve as support and vice versa. That could be a key level if we were to get there today. But that's also a significant drop below that 0.382, and it would just show the overall bearishness. Look at this rounded top here. That's steady selling. That means bulls are attempting to buy the dip, and the bears have steady selling pressure on it to turn and burn. And here we are. Your support on this low, 15801, which typically holds on that first back test of these psychological levels. Below that, your next support is 15768. 15768 on Nasdaq. Yes. Yeah, we've had terrible breath. So we've talked about not breath as what you breathe, BREADTH. We've had very few stocks holding us up. And we definitely had more decliners than advancers overall. But the few that were holding us up mattered, like Apple. Well, Apple's getting hit hard this morning on some iPhone slowing news, yada, yada. Really, the thing just needs a breather. It has single-handedly held the market up. So I think it needs a breather. Another name, and I know I'm kind of getting out of order, but that's what I do. Another name that's held us up is Microsoft. So ideally, when you have a potential head and shoulders, your right side of the neck stays above this left side, and then that right shoulder ends up breaking the neckline. We dipped below it by about $2 over here, but I would say we're still surprisingly holding up this 32812. We're in a daily uptrend. Well, I can't say that. We need to get back over 33903, but I would say this is constructive. We're holding the 50 RSI despite the elevated bear volume. Microsoft bulls have been putting on a show, but look at QQQ. It has not. It's broken bearish from this head and the shoulders. Now, this right shoulder was so anemic and puny that it could barely even form a proper right shoulder. And we closed below this 38753. Your next key level on QQQ, 380.70. 380.70. So anyway, Microsoft and Apple have been holding us up, and Apple's just getting hit super hard this morning. Let's go look at it. So we have a bearish reversal candle yesterday, which means an upper wick of profit taking, where bulls said, that's it, we're done. We're hitting that 170 psychological. I'm taking my profit. So now we're getting hit on that news. A 3.5% down morning at Apple is huge. Think of the market cap it has to lose when it's down that much. That is some major selling. Sorry, my nose is itching. So what I would look to do is short a bounce on Apple. I would be looking to short a bounce on Apple. So right now, hourly's oversold, coming off all-time high. So this is typically an area you could look to buy the dip, but the market's not supporting you buying this dip. So this is not a dip I'm interested in. Things have changed. So if we look at the variables, hourly oversold coming off the first all-time high, typically a buy. But what cancels that typical buy is that the market's so weak, I can't trust that this bounce will actually work. Okay, back to RTY. RTY is not breaking yesterday's low, so Nasdaq is definitely the weakest, and we know that because of Apple. So I'm going to keep saying it over and over and over. Careful with tech today. If you're going to look to short anything, I would short the indices, and I would look to short QQQ if you're looking to short today. If you want to do individual stocks, I would short any bounce on Apple because it has the bearish news, it has a weak market. So that's basically my thesis for the day is bearish tech. And bearish any bounce pretty much on any stock. YM is holding yesterday's low. Your support 34129, we just broke that by $23, 34106. 34106 here. So YM holding up okay, RTY holding up okay, ES holding up not as great as the other two because it has large component of Nasdaq, and Nasdaq is just super weak. Bitcoin. Man, I got so many questions about this bearish reversal pattern. This is what I drew yesterday, but I would say this break was still within. Let's look at what a diamond, we talked about it yesterday, but let's go over it real quick. A diamond bearish reversal pattern is when you have a broadening formation. So we got 3 touches up here, only 2 down here, and then it was so weak it just fizzled out over here. And the bears gave it one more college try, could not get over the 59249, and then down she went. So I hope that helped you with Bitcoin. I got more questions and comments about that yesterday than I have in probably a month about anything that I've said. And y'all know I say some controversial things. But yesterday's diamond bearish reversal pattern on crypto and the blockchain related stocks got tons of comments. But I was typing a friend after pregame yesterday and I said, I am bearish Bitcoin. And I made myself go take a bearish position when we tested this, even though I thought we could break bull out of it, but it was just such a strong pattern on so many stocks. Here's the other one I saw it on. SI. SI looks like a beautiful chart, but look at that bearish reversal pattern. I mean, it's not drawn well here, but that's bearish. This could be a great short. It has a squeeze. It's holding the 50 RSI, but look at that bear volume. So again, a lot of the blockchain related stocks have this pattern, so cautious out there. Ethereum, however, did kind of kick me in the face yesterday. I was looking for this weekly bull flag to possibly confirm because of proximity to all-time high, and then bears just sold into the pop. I had a small loss over here. I got stopped out when we lost 4656. This, man, that's me really taking some creative liberties here, calling this an inverse head and shoulders, because what if you saw someone walking around with a head like that? That would be Patrick from SpongeBob. We have Patrick in our room. So we need to hold 4455 on Ethereum, resistance 4603. This looks more constructive than Bitcoin. Gold had that 4-hour falling wedge that was like SPY that Dan was watching, and it's broken bear from that. Hourly downtrend, resistance 1782, 1785, support 1767. Okay, who's thinking about me this morning? Somebody's thinking about me because my nose is itching. Have y'all heard that old wives' tale? Okay, oil, OPEC meeting, various OPEC meetings started yesterday. Lots of news headlines about decreasing output. And I swear, every time somebody says they're decreasing output, oil takes a dip. And someone asked me today, well, if they're decreasing output, this is a long opportunity. Again, unless you are in the energy space full time and have a master's degree in all things energy space, and you understand the shell reserves, and you have your account hold on everything that's in the salt mines in Louisiana, the oil that's stored there, and you know all about this in Dubai, and unless you know all that, you just need to trade the chart, because all this news headlines is just going to get you sideways. 64.84 and 64.43 are supports. Today we have nat gas inventory. Nat gas needs something, and maybe the inventory to spin it out of this. So I've been looking for that monthly higher low, but yesterday I shared with y'all that I just keep getting reminded nat gas has these big moves, and it gives it all back. So I have no confidence in nat gas bulls whatsoever. On any bounce, we could look to short 4-hour lower highs. VIX. So this is what we were watching. We looked to get long here on that lower high on the 4-hour. Boom. But instead of breaking bear out of this EQ, it held a 2171 and zoom. So this was a big spike yesterday to 32.61. Let's see if there's another 4-hour lower high opportunity, and if that will be the point where the market bounces. Nasdaq is melting right before me. It's like it's a pile of ice, and I'm watching it melt. It's pausing here at this psychological 800 level, but it's already tested it once. This could be the push through to the downside. Watch your market internals today. If it shows you a bearish day, stay bearish. We're just now getting to the names, 18 minutes in. I'm a little bit slower this morning, but that's okay. Denzi will be live in the room in 12 minutes. So on Apple, I would look to short any bounce, and I have the box drawn around the hourly 50 EMA, the 8 and 21 EMA. So I would look to short Apple in this area. Now, if it were to actually bounce the way I have this line drawn, then it would have enough room for a higher low. So watch the bounce. I would prefer to short a bear flag. So the bear flag would look like, I don't want to get rid of my box because I worked hard on that box. So if I wanted to really take my time, a bear flag would look like that. So I would much prefer to short a bear flag than an actual EQ potential bounce, meaning that we get a 50% retrace and give us enough room for a higher low. So the Apple bulls that missed out over here, let's see if they find this a buying opportunity. Is this a blue light special, or with this news, throw it out the way? Apple short. DWAC got $1 billion news, whatever, not a political statement. Anytime there's Trump involved, I just don't even like saying the word because I don't want people to get incited. I'm not a political person and don't care about all that stuff. So it had some bullish news. So this is one of my bullish names on my list. So let me show y'all what I am. Bearish, 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 bearish. Okay. So the only bullish names I have on my list, DWAC and Snow. Snow had great earnings, got a ton of upgrades this morning. So in my pile of what I got to work with today, I got 2 bullish names and I got all these bearish names. So I do change these tickers sometimes depending on what the opening action is, and I change my focus. But here are my Queen of the Mountains. Here's the top setups I found today. DWAC, Ninjas Only, volatile name. You should get some nice tightening patterns, stair-step patterns to potentially trade on DWAC today. There's DWAC warrants, but those have DWACW, but those have a lot more volatility than most. Etsy. Looking at top fish bounces with this type of downward momentum. So this thing, so here, the world is melting overnight, get these huge bounces, and some names even held the low of yesterday. Not Etsy, it's on a different planet. So I guess Etsy is the poster child for IWM businesses, you know? Like it's small businesses unite, the arts and crafts. I love Etsy because I don't like arts and crafts and I want someone else to do it for me. But I would look to short any bounce on Etsy. Hourly, we're oversold right now, so I wouldn't say this is the spot. 4 hour, we're oversold. Give me a bounce. Give me a bounce. I would look to short Etsy. JPM, I posted this top fish in the short room yesterday. I got a small piece of it on the 3rd attempt, and I sold it as we approach 161.58. What a moron. Look at that. Crazy. I don't not actually call myself a moron because trading is difficult sometimes. You look at your profit and you say, okay, I like where I am. I'm going to stay there. All right, I'm shorting Luna like a lunatic. Luna coin right now. It just hit an all-time high and I'm shorting it. It looks extended. I'm watching out the corner of my eye. I have to reevaluate why I made that decision on half a cup of coffee this morning. So JPM, I'm looking for top fish setup. I like this setup because it is not as beat up like Etsy. I like Etsy short, but I need to bounce out of it first. JPM, it's actually a relative outperformer this morning, so I need to be careful. But as long as it's below these hourly EMAs and running into the hourly 50 EMA, I'm down with shorting it. MU. Daily bearish reversal candle. Look at this candle with that upper wick of profit taking. It looks like Apple, actually. So bearish reversal candle looking to be confirmed today. It doesn't mean it necessarily will be confirmed. But I like a short on this name on any bounce. We're just now approaching hourly oversold. Neo top fish setup. Really like this setup. Shorting 39.49. I would use 39.55 as a stop. Snow. Okay, I will look at PayPal right now. When y'all start asking me with please, it makes me worried that y'all are in a bad position with it. Just because something's beat up does not mean it's on sale. Okay, so all these people said, I'm done with it. I'm done with it at these upper prices. Now, will they step in at 174.81 or 171.63? It makes logical sense. But all these people said this is no longer a $200 company, and they threw it away. So it's like decreasing the price of a house. So, okay, is this house worth $200? No. $190? No. $180? $170? You keep bringing the price down. Yeah, someone's going to step up and say, I don't care if it's a junker. It's cheap. I'm going to buy it. So is it the junker going to be cheap here and someone step in? I don't know, but it is in a world of hurt. It started with news. RSI to me doesn't mean as much when you have a name that's just steadily beat on. I mean, look at Pins and Piton. Oh, Pins, Piton, and PayPal, the 3 Ps getting killed. Look at this. These names thrown out with the garbage. So I guess any name that starts with a P is short it. Just kidding. Just kidding. So Snow looks good. Okay. So on snow, I have my box actually drawn below price this time because I would look for a high of low bar setup, a stair step setup for a potential dip buy opportunity. They beat on earnings and killed, actually. I had an alert set on this name for 328. This level stood out to me. I traded snow back in here. I had an alert set yesterday and it hit. I didn't buy it, but man, hindsight. But I can't predict the earnings. They killed it. So that's a potential long today. Tesla has been a relative outperformer to the market. They finally broke through that daily double bottom of 1118 yesterday. And we are in a daily uptrend, I would say EQ now, but 1062, let me draw it for you. I've got to hurry up. Lower high, higher low, oh, lower high. Now we're looking for a higher low compared to 1062. Sorry about that. All right, and SPY, I just wanted to draw it for you. The box with the hourly EMAs. So I would look to short that 455 area, 450, 461. If we were to get up into that area, I would look to short it. We're not terribly beat up on SPY. Daily's not oversold. Oh, no problem. Home Depot. SHIB hit hourly oversold and didn't get a lot of moving overnight. Home Depot looks great. Home Depot and Cost said, Costco, what market dip? Potential weekly bull flag. This thing looks beautiful. This is a buy. That's gorgeous. Shibaruski. SHIB doesn't look good. On any bounce, you would just look for a 4-hour lower high compared to 4770. So it doesn't look good. Last one, Sand. Actually, I need to do USDT. So this is a Meta name. Meta got thrown out with the garbage yesterday. Daily, we're looking for a higher low compared to 576. And 1 hour, in order to change the trend, they need to get over 639. All right, that's it for me. Use stop losses, TCGers. I'll see you in the room. Pre-gamers who are only pre-gamers, why not? Join the community. Everybody hit the like button, subscribe button, notification button, and do good things.